All right, so today we're going to be making some delicious summer pavlovas. They feature a blueberry cashew mousse and a cheesecake flavored meringue. I'd also like to introduce my colleague, Ashley Sabo. Hi Ashley, thanks for joining me.
Hello. So I'm Ashley Sabo. I'm a senior food scientist at Edlong, and I'm going to be helping Ann out today.
So let's get started with our cashew mousse. I've done a little prep in advance just to make sure we have enough time for questions at the end. I soaked our cashews already. So I've got some delicious organic cashews. They are unsalted and unroasted, and we've soaked them in some boiling water for about an hour in order to soften them and make them break down more in the blender, so we'll have a great smooth and creamy texture for our mousse. Got our great cashews, thanks Ashley. All right, and then we have 3 different coconut ingredients. So I've measured out coconut cream and coconut milk, because nobody makes coconut half and half. But we've got that to add some additional richness and texture and help with the body of the mousse. And then we also have a little bit of coconut oil. All right, just a few more ingredients and we will be on our way. So I've got some delicious frozen organic blueberries. If you're at your local farmer's market and the blueberries are in season, you're certainly welcome to use those. But if it's the middle of winter and you have a craving for this, the frozen ones are just fine too, because they're organic. And then we have some maple syrup for a little bit of sweetness and some brown notes and some delicious lemon juice to help complement the tartness of the blueberries. And the other important part for this process is having a heavy-duty high-speed blender. If anyone is into smoothies and shakes, I feel like this is definitely a more common piece of equipment at home. So using the high-speed blender helps with the texture of the mousse and to break down those cashews as well as those blueberries. All right, so we've had about 2 minutes of blend time. You'll see the blueberries will be pulverized and the coconut milk will be all mixed in, and you don't want to see large pieces of blueberry skin, so you'll see some little dark specks that's still a tiny bit of skin, so it's got some texture and it obviously is a really nice purpley color. All right, so our next step is the best step. We're going to add our Edlong Magic. We've got a delicious butter vanilla flavor that we're going to be putting into the mousse that we've made. We already have cashews and blueberries, lemon juice and maple syrup, and a whole lot of different coconut fat type products. And it's tasty, I'm not gonna lie, but it does taste like it's good for you. So what we're gonna do is add this butter vanilla flavor that's organic and natural and really take the mousse up to a next level. It's a powdered flavor. It's part of our new organic line, and we think that it adds a whole lot of richness and indulgence. The butter with the vanilla together works really well, and it is creamy and sweet, and some people even say it tastes a little bit like cake batter, which is another profile that you see in a lot of different applications, especially like in ice cream and breakfast cereal, those type of things. So let's add some butter vanilla and see how it does. All right, so now that we've got everything blended up and extra delicious, we are going to take our mousse and put it in the fridge for about 2 hours or until it is set. And while we are waiting for our mousse to set, that's a great time to make your meringue cookies that are part of our pavlova, and Ashley will walk us through that.
So guys, we're going to use a KitchenAid mixer with the whisk attachment, and we're going to go ahead and add your egg whites. You'll then turn on your whisk and start mixing and slowly add in your sugar. So once you get all your sugar in, you're going to go ahead and let this go until you get stiff peaks. Okay, now that we're close to our stiff peaks, we're going to go ahead and add our Edlong flavor. So this time we're using another organic flavor. It's actually cheesecake. So by adding this to our meringue, we're actually making a more in-depth, cultured tasting product. So it just gives it a little more diversity to the final product. So we're going to add that in. Now with this particular flavor, it is going to be baked, so they are heat stable. And this one is powder again, but we do also have liquid flavors as well. So I'm going to finish whipping this until it is stiff peaks. So once you have your meringue to stiff peaks and kind of glossy looking, you'll take that out and actually put it in a piping bag. From there you can pipe out rosettes or whatever shape you'd like onto a baking sheet, where you'll stick it in the oven at between 200 to 225 degrees Fahrenheit and let it bake for an hour. After the hour, turn your oven off and let them just sit for another hour until they're fully dry. Okay, now that your cookies are completely cooked after the 2 hours and that they're fully dry, we're gonna go ahead and take them out. There we are. So we can see that they've completely dried, and we're gonna go ahead and plate them and give them to Anne, ready for our next step.
All right, so we've got our chilled blueberry mousse that's from the fridge. I've put it into a piping bag already, and we've got a star tip to make it as pretty as the meringues are. And now we're gonna take our butter vanilla flavored mousse that's made with cashews and blueberries and pipe it onto our delicious cheesecake flavored meringue. And this is the part where you really get to kind of give it your own spin. If you like a lot of mousse, you can put a whole lot on there. If not, you can just do a little. And when you garnish, that's another way to add different flavor and textures. All right, so this is where you can start having some fun. You can really do this any way you want, but it also sort of depends on how much mousse you want to how much cookie. Don't forget the mousse is rich and creamy and has that great butter vanilla profile, but the cookie has a little bit of crispiness as well as some chewiness from those egg whites. So there's the texture interplay and that great cheesecake flavor as well. So I've added some mousse to our cookie, and now the best part is the garnish, right? So we've got fresh berries in front of us, but use whatever you have available that's in season for you. And then I've got some mint leaf as well, but you could also use lavender, basil, or any sort of fresh herbs just to kind of combine with the richness from the pavlova and the freshness from the berries. And some diced strawberries too, because you can never have too many strawberries. So you've got a blueberry and cheesecake pavlova. right, so we've got a refreshing summer pavlova dessert. We hope you enjoyed watching us prepare. We were able to feature Ed Loring's organic cheesecake and butter vanilla flavors. And for any sample needs or further questions, please contact your local Ed Long rep or visit Ed Long's website. My name is Anne.
And I'm Ashley.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Back to you, Tara.